just a short little video to talk to you about how to change a battery in a Generac. But if you call anybody to come out and do a service call on that, you're looking at anywhere from about 180, I don't know, up to 300, depends on who you're talking to, just for that first hour service call. And then the battery on top of that. How's it going, everybody? Jay from Simple Woods Life coming back at you during
Snowmageddon 2024.
No, it isn't. But I'll tell you what, the Weather Network has been going all day long, all yesterday. Messages and emails and texts and exploding. I even had Hydro One text me saying we're prepared for all the power outages we're gonna have, which is interesting because today is about a generator. We've got a Generac generator. It's 17 kilowatt Guardian series. The battery's at least 5 years old. I think it might be closer to 6, so it does need to be changed anyway. And I picked up a new battery today. I drove all the way out to the city during Snowmageddon, and I picked myself up a new Prairie battery with 660 CCA. Ow! And that's what we're doing. So I'll walk you through this real quick. It's not an adventure, but like, you know, if you're ever sitting there going, how the heck do I do something like this? It's kind of simple. Let me take you through it. And this is all part of a Simple Woods life, is knowing how to do this stuff. We've gone from snow to a little bit of freezing rain. Yikes. So this little side door here gives you a little indication light. And most of the time you're gonna see that, it's gonna be green. Green's a good light. Green means go, everyone knows that. When you got an issue, it's a red light. And in our case, that red light's on. What could it mean? Well, we'll pop the top here and we'll take a little peek at what we've got going on inside. Yeah, here we are. This video is about changing a battery. And you know, of course I'm doing it during a snowstorm. It's not a snowstorm, but that's what they're calling it. We did get about 3 inches of snow today. Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo. When I was a kid, you get 2 feet of snow and that was just a fun afternoon, but nowadays you get a couple of inches and they're literally blowing up your devices. Huh? It's like getting a woof.
Ryan, you have a wolf on line 1.
So before we touch anything on this, there's a couple of things we want to do right off the top because I don't want to get electrocuted. I'm kind of funny that way. So we're going to shut off the breakers that are on the generator, but that's not going to stop power going to this generator. I'm also going to turn the generator off, but that's not going to stop power to this generator. I'm also going to pull the fuse. Safety first, second and third, my friends. To get inside to the meat and potatoes, we just pull this up and alley-oop. See, it's got these little hooks. Those little hooks hook onto these things. It's got these knobby little legs. They hook into those little holes. I'll just set that aside. This is where our battery's kept. And let me see if I can adjust you guys a little bit here. Generac uses a 26R. I think the R stands for reversible because positive and negative are flipped around. That's what I heard. Don't quote me on it. But now that we've got everything off, we turned off the breakers on the side, we've turned the unit off, and we've pulled that fuse. Maybe it's totally overkill, but overkill's better than being killed, huh? Write it down. Write that down. That's a tip from me to you. I brought a bunch of little wrenches out. Lucky number 13. What the fuck was that, guys? Look what I did. All right, for those of you with eagle eyes, I got different jeans on. I went inside, changed my jeans. Not because I got scared so badly that things happened. I just realized I was in my good dungarees, so I put on my not so good ones. I know what has happened. 26R is the type of battery. The R stands for reversible. So the, what do you call them? The terminals. And I wasn't even thinking. I was just going straight to the negative as I always do, but the negative happened to be the positive, and you gotta undo the negative first, then the positive. So learn from me. I haven't done any damage to the generator. I touched the side, so I created an arc. I burned my little wrench. Lucky number 13's got a spark burn now. So that's okay. That's okay. Ain't no thing. I've never changed it on this. It was changed in 2017, but I didn't change it. Take off the negative terminal. Mind you, that's on there tight, isn't it? There we go. Alright. Negative's off. I don't want it touching at all, though. And our buddy, the positive. You do not want these terminals to touch, okay? So keep them away from each other. Like this one in here, the negative one and the positive one, you don't want them to touch. One neat thing though, there's no corrosion on this whatsoever. So that's a damn good sign. In 18, 19, 21, 2, 23, 6 years, no corrosion. Fudgy the whale. Oh, is there a tray? Oh, there we go. All right. There's the old battery. We had a power surge 665 cranking amps. That's what we had. Your basic lead acid battery. I've bought a better battery to replace this with. This here, yoink, is an AGM battery. Absorbable glass mat, I believe. Versus, it's basically an advanced, and it's an advanced battery. Advanced lead acid. This is super durable against extreme temperatures and vibration. And while this thing's got shocks, you can see them down there when the motor's bouncing all around and doing its bouncy business, it doesn't shake like a son of a gun. It definitely does have a shake. And with some of the temperatures we get in the Canadian North, you know, you do what you can. It's more money than a regular battery, but that aside, it's better in the long run, and it's more powerful. And anything that I can do to make this machine work less difficult than it needs to work, that's a good thing. So it should be as simple as swapping this out. I mean, it's kind of a pigsty in there, but you know what? I'm cold. It's late in the day. I'm going to just leave that as is. I see a couple of gross slugs and some ringworms. Maybe this spring when we do our whole big yardie cleanup, you know, with the barbecues and everything. Maybe I'll pull the batteries and stuff out and we'll give this a good once over. Wash it all down. There's a bit of moss and junk on it, you know. Keep your stuff looking nice. It'll be feeling nice. And if it's feeling nice, it's feeling thrice. So this is just going to be a reverse of what we already did. We'll swap that in. Off we go. I don't like that.
Five minutes later.
Okay, looks like I didn't take into account that an AGM is going to be a touch bigger than a regular battery, the 26R. There's a 35 AGM, so same essential everything, just bigger. It's been about 2.5 hours. Look at that cute little thing. And I'm looking at 550 cold cranking amps. So not as good as the other one. However, due to its size, we'll be able to slot this in real quick, which is nice because the temperature has dropped so much. I'm so cold. I do not like it, but I did get a coffee. So it's all about, you know, perspective. Come on, let's do this. And that's how she's going to fit in there. So you don't want to create those kind of sparks around a battery. We're going to do our positive first, then our negative. Yeah. Because negative grounds everything, right? So we'll do our positive, then our negative, and we're going to have to reset the time and maybe some of the different scheduling stuff on here. I'll show you how to do that, but it's pretty simple. That's it. Now all we got to do is turn everything else back on and reset whatever we got to reset. Flip those back on. We'll put our fuse back in. And then we're going to switch it to auto. Ready to run. You're going to have to update the settings after you pull your fuse, probably. This thing's gone all wonky because the battery's been shot. So we hit escape. All right, we're going to cycle ourselves down here to the word edit. There's our current time. So we will select our hour. It is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So 16. Hit enter. It is... If you hold it, it'll go quick, real quick. 4:03. Month is January, and the date is the 9th. Year's 24. We're good. Exercise time, it runs 15 minutes on Tuesdays. 10-second startup delay. That's it. Frequency 60 hertz, and change the language if you want to. But that's it. That's all it takes to update this after you pull that fuse. No big deal. Let's see. Start it up. Well, she's purring like a kitten now. And there we go. It's just that easy. There you have it. That's it. That's all. So I hope you got something out of that. Simple steps, right? Number 1, make sure all your power sources are off. Pull that fuse. Number 2, make sure you pay attention to the order in which you take off the connection to the battery. Negative first, then positive. And number 3, pull the old battery out, put the new one, and put the terminals on in the reverse order. And then number 4, turn everything back on, reset your time, your date, whatever. I mean, that's it. That's it. And now you're ready to run. Batteries sorted out. We got ourselves another 3 to 5 years. 3 if Generac had their way. 4, I think, maybe. Well, we'll do 3. Who cares? We'll just do it. And what else did we learn bigger than that? Well, don't just assume that the other battery that's in there is a 26R. It might be a 26. And it's an automotive battery, and you didn't realize that. So not paying attention, you undid the wrong terminal first, and you arced. AGM. Far superior battery. Oh, yeah. Great. Great for vibration, great for cold weather starting. But she's bigger. She's bigger than a regular battery, so might not fit inside your generator compartment. And, you know, I could have crammed it. I could have hit it, but then I'm crimping wires. I'm possibly bending the exterior. Not a good deal. This job took me maybe 20 minutes, but because of all the hours and hours I was on the road, closer to 5 hours. Damn. But I did get a couple of Tim Hortons coffees out of the deal. So, I mean, we're all, you know, we're mixing it up and we're having a good time. So maybe in the spring we'll show you how to change the oil, change the air filter, swap out the spark plugs, and we'll give the whole thing a nice scrub and get that that mossy green off of there. Another fall project I guess I didn't really get to, but we'll do that. We'll do that. And it's a beautiful, beautiful late afternoon. The days are getting a touch longer, so that's a good deal. And I'd like to do a little bit of winter camping. I went down this whole rabbit hole, and we'll talk about it at a later date, about a cheap winter ice tent, hot tent a cheap winter hot tent and a cheap stove. And, you know, it defines into sort of how cheap is cheap. Like, I can get a tent on Amazon for $105, but would I be better to spend $250 or $300? So, I mean, you know, there's nothing more expensive than a cheap tool. There's another tip from the woods. We'll see if we can do some winter camping. I don't want the wind. I don't want the freezing rain. I've got a uninsulated ice hut, Miss Lady's dad's old camp cot that weighs a couple of 100 pounds, a Mr. Buddy heater with a connection for a big old barbecue propane tank, and I'm hoping that that might be enough to keep me toasty. I don't have any fancy sleeping bag gear or anything like that. My sleeping bag's just a regular sleeping bag, so what is that rated to? 10 degrees or something? I don't know. Certainly not minuses. But I figure with some thermals on, maybe a woolly jacket and a woolly coat. I don't have any woolly stuff. I got wool socks. Does that count? Anywho, we'll see what we can do. But that's it. Jay from Simple Woods Life saying, generate your new horizons in 2024.